So that's down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. 3, 4. Okay, pretty easy. So we're going to go to a C chord next, 2, 0, 1, 0. We're going to do the same thing, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Here we go, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try to do those two together. D minor into C. 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, and... Okay, let's try that one more time. 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to have one chord at a time. D minor, C, and then B flat. I like to just use one finger there, try to get that flattened out to get those top 3 threes there. 2s also for an A chord. You could be doing those like the full way with a B flat to A. You could do it that way. You can fit them all in there. So we're going to have D minor, C, B flat, A, G, A, D minor. Okay, so that was D minor, C, B flat, A, G, A, D minor. Hold that for a little bit, then we're going to have... So that's the little extra chords there, kind of power chords at the end. So we have the big 2 2s, and then the open on the G string, and the 1 on the B string. And then we're going to go to the 2 and the 3 on the G and B. We can also hit the D bass. Make that sound nice and big. And that's the one that holds out and he gets his verse going. Okay, so everything so far we got. Okay, and then we're going to have like another one like that, dun, 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 but it's going to switch around and it's going to go. So it's going to do, this is actually part of a C chord, this open and 1. And this is part of an A chord, the 2 and 2. So instead of going A, C, D, this one switches around and goes C, A, D. Back to the O, 2, 3 there. That goes, holds on for a while. He sings a bit. That's going to have another one of these. A to C to D. And then we're going to have a little walk-up thing. Okay, and we're going to have a 3 on the 3rd string, and then open 1 and 2. And it's like it's walking into this D. But we're going to go ahead and start playing the D bass with the D minor chord at that point. So it's... Okay, so we have this walk up 3, 0, 1, 2. And then we're going to start doing a D minor, bass chord, bass chord, bass chord, bass chord. Same thing with the C. Now we're going to go G minor, 5 with the 3s. Back to the D minor. D minor again. Back to the G minor this time. A chord there at the end. And then we're going to end that with 7, 5, 3, 2. You could also go 2, 0 on the G string, 3, 2 on the D string if you want. But sometimes if you kind of slide into that 7, it sounds nice and bassy on that big string, right? Okay, so let's go back to that walk-up thing we had. 3 on the G, and then 0, 1, 2 on the B, and then D minor bass chord, C, G minor, back to D minor, D minor again, G minor, and A, and then 7, 5, 3, 2, and then we're back to the beginning. And then D minor, C, B flat, A, G, A, D minor, and then that 2s, open and 1 on the 3rd and 2nd strings, and then O, 2, 3. Okay, so those first 2 times, it's just kind of a 2-note thing. Then when the band comes in after the first 2 setups, you can kind of add some notes. So we're just doing the 2 and the 3 on the third and second strings here. We're muting the other strings. And we have strum, chicka, strum, chick. Okay, so we got to look at each one of these chicks to keep that rhythm together. So this one actually comes in before the next measure. So it's like 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Okay, so listen to this in context, kind of. So that one's like a upstroke on this one. So. See how that works? And then we're to the 4 and 5. So the rhythm stays the same. We just have this order of chords. Dun 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 dun. We got dun 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 dun. So some of those are on the upbeats before the new downbeat. So once again, I'll try it nice and slow. Okay, so we're going to do this a total of 7 times. So the first 2 will just have those 2-note chords. But then as we go on, we can add to this chord on the 5th fret, we can add a 5 on the bottom. So it's 5, 6, 5, and then this other one becomes 4, 5, and 3. So this is like a F major chord, and this is like an E minor chord. And this is like just a D5 chord, a D power chord, because it doesn't have the note that makes it major or minor. So on the 3rd time through the 7th time, we can go. So it's really fast on the real record. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it'd be a total of 7 times, 2 times with just the 2-note chords, and the other 5 times with those bigger chords. So when that's all done, we're gonna hit a G minor chord, 5 with 3s. And then G minor, A minor, which is 2, 2, 1, O, of course. G minor, A minor, B flat, C, and then C again to D minor. So it ends up being hold that one, and then bum, bum, bum. So C, C, D minor at the end. And then we'll back that up with that. Okay, now our next part is going to be D chord here, 7, 7, 7. We're going to go. And then 5s. So what we did is dun da da dun da dun dun da dun, and that's a 9, 7, and 8 chord right there. So down, down, so down, down, up, down, chick, up, up, chick. Back to the 7s, and then 7, 7. So it's same thing on the 5s. We do it twice. Now for this next part, I got a new little picking thing for us. We got D minor again, but we're going to go bass to the 2 small strings and then go into that other bass note. So that would get some moving bass going on in here, like a real country thing. So it's like big bass, little notes, higher bass, little notes. So we alternate like that. Then we're going to go to a C chord, but we're going to do the 3rd string first. Okay, so we're going to go. Let's try that. 3, 4. And then C kind of in reverse. We'll do this 4 times. Say that was the 4 times. Then we're going to hit an A chord, which is 2, 2, 5, and 5. We're going to go hold it, One more time, and then back to those chords. Set up the last type of verse. Got a little harmonic there you can hit on the 5th fret. Remember, harmonics is when you play right above the fret, but you don't press down. And you get that overtone there. Okay, so then we're going to be back into the... And then we're back into that picking thing. But we're only going to go twice. Back to the D minor. Then we have a little run. 1, 3, open 3. So 1 and 3 on the B string, open and 3 on the E, and then we're gonna go 3, 1, 3, 2. So that was 2nd string 3, 1, 3, 2 on the 3rd string. A little different timing that, and then we're gonna go 3, 1, 3, 2, open 3. 2 D minors at the end there. So we got So here we go. We're going to have this G chord here. This is an open on the 3rd string G, and then an 8 and a 7. So we're going to have... So that's basically our intro and our verse. So once again, we got this G chord. We're going to have bass, and then down, up, down. And we're going to do that same type of thing for each chord. So bass, down, up, down. And I'll include that bass note. And you could include this big one, but I want this bass note to be the G right here. I don't want that D. That's a different one, even though it's in a G chord. So we got bass, and then I will hit that bass note with the chord. Down, up, down. Now we switch to this one. This is 4, open, 3, and 5. So we'll do the same thing, bass, and then down, up, down. And then we have a chord 2, open, 3, bass, down, up, down. And then we have a C chord, bass, down, up, down. Now we're going to do the G chord with the 2 3s on the bottom here. We got same thing on that. Now we're going to go to the C. We're going to go so 2 0 1 0 to 4 0 3 0. Bum, ba, up, down. So it's down on the C. And then real quick, you go up, down on that kind of a D suspended with an F sharp bass type of chord. Okay, so we're going to have. So that's kind of a bass, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord. And listen to the song, they switch it around and make the feel a little bit different and make some chords like sound real loud and kind of change where they are in the beat and stuff. So very interesting the way they did that. So let's take a look again. We got. Okay, we'll break it down slow again. We got the first one, bass, down, up, down. And then we're going to switch to this 4-0-3-5. Ready, bass, down, up, down. And then the 2-0-0-3 and bass, down, up, down to the C and bass, down, up, the G and bass, down, up. And then we have the, let's try that, 2, 3, and. Okay, so the start of the new G is going to be just a bass and a chord. So let's try that thing here. We got 3, 4. Bass, chord. One more time on that. 2, 3, and. Bass, chord, bass, chord. So let's try that bass, chord. Now you can do this with a pick. It'd be a little easier to go back and forth like that, but just kind of like, your thumb kind of rubs across as long as you're getting kind of near that big string. So we got bass, chord, bass, chord. And And then the next measure is going to be bass, chord, bass, chord. So let's try the whole G. It's going to be bass, chord, bass, bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord. Let's try that. 2, 3, and bass, chord, bass, bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord. Okay, so let's try to go from. Let's try that. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's try the whole thing. 3, 4. So see what I did there? I kind of took that one back. You can kind of do that every now and then too if you want. Bum ba ding dee dum G. That'd be a little extra thing to throw in there if you want. Okay, then we're gonna look at the chorus. We got. And then you got the pause, and then. Okay, so that was the whole chorus part. So we're going to break this down. We got the C. We're going to have bass, chord, bass, bass, chord, chord. Let's try that. 2, 3, 4. Now the same thing with D. 3, 4. We're actually going to do the D twice, and then we're going to do the G after that with the threes. So let's go C, D twice, and G with that same pattern. Bass, chord, bass, bass, chord, chord for each one. So 2, 3, 4. Going D, D again, G. Now this next G goes bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, bass, bass, chord, C. Kind of hold that C. So bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, bass, bass, chord, C. So let's try that again. So when you get to the C, you can have it once, strum, and then on this in the tab, you'll see the next measure is like down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, down. So there's like 2 measures of C going on in there after that first hit. So from the last G part we did with kind of 3 sets of hits there, we got bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, bass, bass, chord, C. Next measure, da 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 dum, D. Okay, and then you have that pause, and then you got weed, white sand, wine. Going to D, show me a sign, and I'll be willing to be moving. Okay, and then we're back to. Go back to the chorus. Da da dum dum. Da 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 dum da 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 dum dum. Weed, white sand, wine. Show me the sign. Okay, so once again from that C, we got C, the next measure. Dun, dun, da, 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 dum, D, da, da, dum. So 2 or 3 hits on that D, and then a couple down, up, down. Dum, 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 da, da, dum. Then you wait for a while, and you just give me with C, B, C, and then G strum. Going to the D, back to G, I'll be willing. Then we got that little moving thing. To be moving. And it kind of ends just like that. Okay, that's about the hardest thing in the whole song. So we're going to take it real slow on that. It's going to be G chord. You're going to start with your bass. So it's kind of like bass, and then the rest of the chord, and then down, up, down, up. That'll be our first measure. Let's try that. Bass, chord, down, up, down, up. 2, 3, 4. Okay, easy enough. So we're only going to do that one measure, just one time. We're going to go. And then we're going to have this thing where we got to hammer into this. We're going to hammer into the C chord from that G. We keep that pinky down there, and we bring in the 2 and the 1 from a C chord. So we got... We're going to have that little hammer right there. Down, up, down, up, down, up. That last up, we're going to pull the 2 and the 1 out. So we got... Okay, first measure, bass, chord, down, up, down, up. Second measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that kind of thing. So, 2 measures together. Okay, and then our third measure is going to be, so bass, chord, hammer, and then C to G. So kind of a combination of those first 2. So all 3 measures together, we got bass, chord, down, up, hammer, down, up, down, bass, chord, hammer, down, up. Now the fourth measure of the intro is going to go bass, chord, and then you're going to wait and not hit the 3, so it'll be like and 4 and up, down, up at the end. So bass, chord, wait, up, down, up. Bass, chord, wait, up, down, up. So real slow, whole intro. Wait, up, down, up. Okay, one more time on that. 2, 3, 4. Bass, chord, down, up, hammer. Bass, chord, hammer. Wait. Okay, and then our first measure, that's going to be our basic strum. So when we get into the verse here, we're going to have 6 times for G, and then we switch to D. So D is coming up. Okay, so for G, we're going to have, that's 1 measure. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more. Now we're going D. Now we got 6 more Ds. 4, 5, 6. Back to G. Now in the chord chart here, I've got a W3. That means with the 3rd measure. That's the one that goes. Okay, so bass, chord, hammer, C, G. So when you get to when you finish the Ds, say we'll do the last 2 Ds. See how it just does that for 1 measure? It does the 3rd measure of the intro right in that one spot where it says W3 on the chord chart. Okay, so when we finish that one, there's 1 more measure of G, and then a new verse starts on the G. It's gonna be 6 Gs. There's the 4th, 5th, 6th. Now we're going to C. 2 more Cs. G for 2. Now D for 4. And then we get to our chorus. Okay, so let's go over everything we got so far. So we got intro. verse. Two more. D. And then 6 more Ds. 4, 5, 6, and then G with that riff. And then next verse, G for 6. 2 more. Now this time C. 2 more. 2 Gs. 4 Ds. Then we got our chorus, C, G, D, G, C, G, 6 Ds. Two more. And then G with that riff. Okay, and then we're to the modulation. We're going to A major here. So let's look at that last 6 Ds into that G riff, and then an extra G measure, and then we're going A. So let's do those last 6 Ds, 3 and 4 and. 2 more. And then G with the riff, bass, chord, hammer, and then A. So there's 2 measures that set up the A verse. There's also a cool riff. So we got 5s down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 7, 5. And then we got a little slidey thing here. So we got 4 to 5 and back. 4, 2, 4, and the big one. 2, 4, 2. So together that goes. Okay, so a cool little riff to go over the A there if you want to try that. So the A would be 2, where that riff goes, and then we're going to start a verse. So we'll do those 2 A's. 3 and 4 and A. Now here's the verse. It's going to be 6 A's. And then we're going E major. 6 more of those. Back to A. And then another verse, 6 more A's. 2 more. And then D for 4. Back to A. And then 4 E's. And then the next chorus, D. A, E, back to A, D, A, E for 6, A. Okay, then we're to the part of the song where they kind of do solos and she kind of scats around a bit. And so this is going to be a repeating section all the way to the end of the song. So this is going to have 6 A's and 8 E's and 2 A's. So let's try that. 3 and 4 and A for 6. 2 more. E for kind of like 2, and then 6 more. It's kind of like 6 and 2 all the time. 2 more. 2 A's. And then we repeat the whole thing, 6 A's. E. And then 6 more E's. 2 more. see how a lot of this is 6 of one chord and then 2 of one, and then kind of starting over on that second chord, 6 of that one, back to 2 of something else, and then moving on to a different part. Let's do that last part one more time. That last part happens about 5 times, and you should listen to the drums, and you can kind of change up your strumming a little bit, but the same strum will work over it all. But you can kind of like add some things and try to go along with the drummer as the thing develops in that solo type of section on the out. So let's go through that thing one more time. So we got, like I said, 6 A's, 2 E's, and then 6 E's, 2 A's. And we'll do that through a couple times. 3 and 4 and. E. And then the 6 more. 2 A's. And then we start over, 6 A's. E. 6 E's. And then at the end, it goes like, so he does some kind of thing down the strings like that, but it ends with a ba-bum-bum. So, okay, so let's look at the interesting, kind of extra interesting parts of this. The intro again. Okay, we'll take that real slow one more time. So we got bass chord, down, up, 3, 4. Then the second one was that hammer chord. Let's try that second measure. 3, 4. Hammer, down, up, down, G. Let's try those 2 together. 3, 4. Bass chord, down, up, hammer, down, up. And then the last 2 measures of that were bass chord, hammer, C, G, bass chord, up, down, up. So the last 2 measures there. 3, 4. Bass chord, hammer, C, G, bass chord, up, down, up. Okay, so whole intro, slow. 3, 4. Okay, and then the only other thing is sometimes it'll pop into that. It'll be going on D, and then it'll go. So look out for that one. And then the other thing was that little fill when it goes to A. So once again, that was. All right. All right, this is going to be Take It Easy by the Eagles. We got a G chord to start with. We're going to have. Okay, so that's your down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So we're going to start with the G. We're going to have this C chord, but we're going to keep this 3 down here in the bottom. So we got. So I move that 2 from the big string down to the 3rd string, and that creates like a D minor 7 suspended kind of a chord. So we got G again, we got 3 and 4 and. Bringing in the C, bringing that 1 down, do it again. C, D minor type thing. So there's a weird thing there, there's an extra like half a beat that happens there. So it's strange to count that. It's like a 3 and 4 and. We'll do the intro again. Think of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that kind of thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So that's the tricky part there, is you got to play that kind of 1 and of a new measure, and that becomes your new 1 of starting everything over again for the verse. So it's a tricky little thing they did in there. So one more time, we got 3 and 4 and. Bring in that C, take it down. 3 and 4 and 1 and. So here we go, verse, G twice, then G 2 beats, D 2 beats, C 2 beats. So let's look at that from the verse without that tricky part. So 3 and 4 and. We got G twice, then we got G to the D to the C, then we got G and D and C to G. Okay, so let's look at all that again. We had G, full measure, and that was the down, down, up, down, up. That's one measure. So we had two measures of G, and then we went G to the D to the C, and then we went back to 4 beats each, full measure each. So that G to D was a split measure between the two there. So once again on the verse, 3 and 4 and. G to the D to the C, G, D, and C to G. Now we're going E minor twice, C to G. Now we're going A minor to C, 3 and 4 and. To the C, E minor twice. Okay, so let's do that whole line from the E minor twice. So we had E minor twice, C to G, and then A minor, C, E minor twice. So E minor to start, 3 and 4 and. Now C to G, A minor to C, E minor twice. Now we got C to G twice. Again. Now we got A minor to C. And we got G 4 times. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now the next verse is about the same. There's one little difference. We'll talk about it when we get there. So starting on G again, 2 bars of G, and we got that G to D to C, and on and on. So 3 and 4 and. Now we got the G to D, C, and then G, D, C to G. Now this time we got E minor to D. Here goes D, C to G. Then we got A minor to C, E minor twice. Now we got C to G twice. A minor C, G twice. So the only difference in that verse was it went from that E minor to a D instead of doing 2 E minors. Okay, so now we're at the solo section. It starts out like a verse. So we got our G, 3 and 4 and. Then we got G to D, C, G, D, C to G. Now we got 2 E minors, C to G, A minor C, 2 E minors. Okay, so that was the guitar solo. Now we're back into a new verse. Now this one's going to be a little different because when we do our G to D, we're going to go to an A minor instead of a C. So watch out for that one. So 2 G's to start off again, 3 and 4 and G, G, then G to D to A minor after this. And then G, back to D, and C to G. Now we got 2 E minors, C to G. We got our A minor C, 2 E minors. Now here we have some upbeats. And then it kind of gets back normal. Okay, so coming from those E minors at the end of that last line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we hit on the and of the 4, so a little bit before the normal C measure. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. to the G. G's on the downbeat, but then this next C is also on the upbeat of that 4. So let's do that whole section. So from the 2 E minors, the C, the G, A minor, C, 2 E minors into this upbeat thing. So 3 and 4 and. Now we got C to G, A minor, C, 2 E minors, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 4 and 1. Then we got A minor, C. Now here, we also have an upbeat on that last G. So let's talk about the last E minor into all these upbeats. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 1 and 1. The regular A minor, C. 2, 3, 4 and on that G. We hold that one. Now we're to the outro. We got 2 C's, 2 G's. You can kind of get a little staccato in this one, make it a little more poppy. Take it E. Now here we're gonna have an F9. Here's kind of the final couple turnarounds. We got the G, and we have the F chord, 3, 2, 1, but we're gonna keep that pinky down there, and that 3 becomes the F9. So then we got C twice, G again, F9 again. We got C, end on E minor. Okay, so let's look at all that again. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, we got E minors, C to G, A minor, C, E minor twice. We got C, G twice. A minor, C, G for 4. Because right here we got a guitar riff. Okay, the next verse is just the same, like I said, except for the E minor goes to D. That's about it. We got our solo, which is about the same type of stuff. Then we got that third verse, which is going to be, does the G to D, A minor. So that's the only thing kind of different about that. And then we have, if we look at that last thing again, we're going into the upbeats. So we'll do 2 E minors into those upbeats with the C and stuff. So 3 and 4 and. 4 and A minor, C, upbeat on this G, a 1, 2, 3, outro, C, G, we'll do C again. Now this time we're going to 1 measure each, G to that F9, then we got C for 2, G, F9, C for 2 again, and on an E minor, and all right, Take It Easy by the Eagles. So it's a quick little kind of a rake. Got that thumb, first finger, second finger, doing this kind of a D chord. We don't need the little 2 on this D chord. It's just kind of a D power chord. So you kind of rake up those 3 strings. And then we're going to go bass and then chord, like all 3 at once. So it's like rake and then bass and then chord, all 3. Just does that 4 times to get it going. So once again, nice and slow. Okay, then we get into this main riff. You might put your pinky in there and make it a little easier. We got to do a 2 on the G string, 1 and then 3. Now what I do is after I hit that 3, 2, 1, 3, then I'm gonna hit all 3 of these, make the chord, and then just the 2 and the 1 back to the 2 and the 3, so I don't bother with the big string on those last 2 things. So it's okay, so once again real slow, we get 2, 1, 3, and then we got all 3 notes, and then we have a 2-note thing, and that's the 2 and the 1 into the 2 and 3. So and that big open D string, that kind of can ring through these chords here at the end too. So see how it's still ringing? If you just don't touch it, it'll keep going. Okay, so that's like our main little vamp right there, that little riff. So we're gonna do that 4 times for the main vamp after the intro. So we had our intro is, and then that's our main vamp. So we do that 4 times to get it going, and then we do a verse. The verse is gonna have 6 times of that same thing. Once we finish, let's say we'll do the last 2 of that. 5th one, 6th one. Now we're gonna have G minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then C chord, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we're back to our vamp. We're gonna have 4 times. Okay, and then another verse starts, and that's gonna go 6 times again. So let's say we're doing the last 2 again, 3, 4. 5th one, 6th one, back to G minor, 1 and 2, going to C, back to the vamp, 4 times on the vamp. Okay, so just to scooch us along here quicker, we're gonna do 4 times of that vamp right there after the G minor to C, and then we do 4 more times of that vamp, and that begins a guitar solo. So let's say we're doing those 4, 3, 4. So at that point, we come into a change in the solo where we're gonna have C chord and B flat chord. So we got those 3s up there. You could do 3, 3, 3, and 1 if you want. Okay, so we're gonna have a kind of a galloping rhythm on this. So it's gonna switch from that main vamp. And that guitar solo has a lot of bends and stuff, so we're not gonna mess with that one, but we are gonna play a little bit of the solo of this next section coming up because it doesn't have so many bends. And it's got some cool little melodies up top we're gonna do. So the first thing we're gonna do is look at the rhythm behind the second part of this solo. That's gonna go like a galloping rhythm, like bum ba da dum ba da dum ba da dum ba da, that kind of thing. So like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, and we're gonna go from C to B flat. So 3, 4. We're gonna go 3 times back and forth. But on the 3rd time on this B flat, we're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then an extra measure of that B flat. That's how the solo ends. We're back into our vamp. So once again, from this section, we got C and B flat, C and B flat, C, and then this time we go to B flat. We're gonna do it an extra one, and we're gonna go to simple 8th notes instead of that chugging, galloping rhythm. Okay, so here we go again. 3, 4. C again, B flat, C again. Now this B flat is gonna 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and do it again. 2 and 3 and 4, and back to our vamp. Okay, then we get into the last verse. Last verse is gonna have 6, just like the other verses did. We'll do the last 2, 3, 4. 5th one, 6th one. Now we're back to G minor and C. We got our vamp twice. Back to G minor. Back to the vamp. And you can kind of give that a little bit of vibrato since you're holding that chord for a while to make it sound a little cooler. So let's do those vamps again. 3, 4. And then we're going to have G minor again. C. Vamp. G minor, C again. So basically just keeps doing this and then fades out. Say this is the last one. By then you're about faded out. Okay, so let's take a look at that little lead where we had that C to B flat thing. So we had okay, so for that solo we're gonna have, so we kind of wait for that C to hit, and then we have the 13th fret of the 2nd string, and then little string 12, 13, 15, a couple times. So, and then we're gonna go 11 here. So we have 11, and then little 10, 11, and then 13 to 12. So it's like, hold that 12, this riff again, same thing. And then we have some other riffs kind of coming in here where when we have the chorus, like, we have a slide thing there when it goes, not gonna catch me, no, not gonna catch the midnight rider. So each time we do that G minor to C, you might practice that a little bit doing the slide. 5 to 7 on the G, 3 to 5 on the B, 5 to 7 up here. Okay, so. And then we have some other things, like one last thing. At the very end of that, kind of have these 3s here on the G and the B. Kind of slide into the 7s to get you back in your. All right, Midnight Rider, Allman Brothers. Let's look at that intro one more time. Okay, so that was a rake, and then the bass, and then the chord. Diddly-dum, diddly-dum.